Should be good to go here. There we go. All right. Good evening, everybody. I couldn't really pick a camera angle here, so I just went with the side view like TikTok usually is. So uh, usually I would have it pointing this way, but there's too much moving shit behind me. All right. What's up? Can you guys hear me okay? I think I have everything set up. Perfect. All right. What's up, Anna? Gonna go ahead and go live. All right, you guys can hear me, so just give me one more second. Sound good? All right, cool. Sounds good. Loud and clear. Perfect. All right, we're going live here on TikTok. So I've done YouTube, TikTok, and I think I'm gonna end up going live on um Discord as well. So what's up? What's up, everybody? Sound good? Perfect. All right. What's up? About time. What's good? What's up, everybody? Give me 1 second here. We're gonna go ahead and get started. There we go. Is 100 a good starting limit daily? I mean, you're not gonna get much trading done, but I mean, yeah, I kind of, I guess. All right, 1 second, guys. My laptop mouse pad decided to go out, so I'm having to share a mouse back and forth to get this done. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend. All right. What's what do I recommend? I mean, that depends on how much capital you have and what are you trying to, I guess achieve. Be a better question. Just a second, guys. I'll get started here. I didn't realize that this was not working. So, all right, should be good to go now. There we go. What's up? Good evening, everybody. Show us the fit. What do you mean fit? Let's see the fit. No, there's nothing exciting here. Just a fucking, just look like fucking Curious George's dad. I am live on YouTube. Bob Saget died. Oh my god, dude. Rest in peace. Damn, that sucks. What's up? All right. Thanks for doing this. No problem. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on YouTube. So long time no YouTube. You in a new house? I am not, guys. The housing situation is getting desperate. I'm gonna have to move out of Savannah. This shit's getting crazy. $1 million houses. I'm like, not trying to buy inflation, but or in an inflated market. Somehow my city is more expensive than Portland was, so I don't know how that makes any sense. Yeah, let's see, on gappers. Yeah, 1 second, guys. Plug this back in. Yeah, I am gonna go live on Discord. Just have to give me 1 second. Oh, come on, I had it right the first time. There we go. All right, guys, good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and hop on live. All right, guys, what's up, Discord? All righty, everybody, hear me okay? Audio sounds good. We're gonna go ahead and get to the news and stuff like that. Just making sure Discord, TikTok. Will I be? Yes. So so starting this week, starting to and I'll be honest with you guys, I've been so busy, I haven't even had a chance to go and look for gaps. So we're gonna do this together. But we're gonna go look for these gaps to the downside, and we're gonna start. They may not end up being the trades that we take immediately, but they will be the trades that we'll end up taking for this small account. So the goal here, specifically with this small account, is to only trade gaps. And if the gap is over, like 10%, then we'll trade 50% of the gap, and then call it quits. I don't know what. What's up? I got my government name on YouTube. Oh, that sucks. I don't know why. Almost doing that right now. What's up? A real window cleaner. Playing. My connection is bad. No, that's because somebody is calling me right now. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started here. I don't know why. TikTok would be good. Why are you looking at me like that, bro? Sorry about that. All good? Okay. All right. So that was weird. I got like 6 phone calls at once. All right, y'all. So we're gonna go over a little bit of last week, and then we're gonna look into some events going into this week, and then we'll go ahead and start doing some charting, and so on and so forth. So if you guys on TikTok want your answers, thanks, man. If you guys want your questions answered, you probably want to go to my YouTube channel. The link is in the bio. And that's where we're going to, yeah, for sure. And that's where we're going to be taking those requests. But for the most part, if you guys have any gaps, feel free to bring them to my attention. Uh, Whoa, excuse me. But we will be looking into obviously finding and identifying some key targets there. But anyway, so getting into the news here right off the bat, we've got the S&P, of course, last week closing down 2.12%, NASDAQ down 5.06%, the Russell down almost 3%, and the Dow down only 0.25%. Industrial data came out. But going into this upcoming week, January 10th through the 14th, we got wholesale inventories tomorrow. NFIB Small Business Optimism on January 11th. And then we pick up a little bit on January 12th, Treasury budget, core CPI data, EIA crude inventories for you oil boys, and then the Fed beige book. Higher impact data, of course, coming at the end of the week with jobless, or I was about to say homeless claims, continuing claims, initial claims, core PPI, retail sales, import, price index, export, industrial production, and capacity utilization. So relatively high impact with the retail data. And then as far as earnings are concerned, so this is where we're going to start looking out. This is not the pick up as far as earnings are concerned, but this is the week before. So this is what's got me curious as to whether or not we will see a rebound as investors possibly anticipate a decent or a good, a better than expected earnings season. So obviously this and next week we start to pick up. This week, nothing really crazy. No companies that like I identify as like big movers except for TSM, and then the banks coming in on Friday. Got JPM, WFC, and of course Citigroup. And then on January 17th through the 21st, you get a little bit of a bigger pickup, and then Friday ending with a bang with 142 companies, most of them relatively small, non-identifiable for your average investor. But you've got Netflix, some bigger ones, Bank of America, BG, Alcola, and Morgan Stanley, those kind of. So a lot of banks happening next week, but then we kind of kick into a bigger earnings season where we got Starbucks, Tesla, Visa, Apple, Cat, all reporting. So I'm wondering if that sentiment, that it's just far enough away where people can start bridging, that forward thinking. Tell me something. Tell me that's not serious. Are you guys seeing this with me? Am I tripping? Tell me they didn't do that on purpose. Come on, they can't be serious. All in. All right. Anyway, sorry. Your boy's mad distracted by shit like that. That's hilarious. As incorporated. Oh man, we got a short ass. Okay, so let's distract myself here. So besides that, we know that the Fed is now mulling a March rate hike. At least that's the takeaway from the Fed meeting minutes on Wednesday. However, it's not surprising that given the urgent need for to arrest the sky high inflation, news of the hike and consequent halt to asset purchases sent stocks and commodities lower. So that's something to consider. Of course, Legacy's EV, quote unquote, mount attack, Tesla radically transformed the idea about the auto industry, leading scores of investors to place bets on novel brands. However, the legacy automaker, electric vehicles, more seriously, high flying new age automakers might have to have their work cut out for them, as shares of GM and F, of course, taking off to new highs, but they're all leading into those EV opportunities. And EV talk, and just in general has been starting to pick back up again, which I really feel like it's a failed, like, I don't know, it's honestly odd to me that people try to compare any EV company to Tesla, as it's obviously not just Tesla. There's not just a one singular thing there. So Visa has a couple of gaps. Digging the Pawpaw jacket. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Oh, very nice. Like that. And we got a chain started in here. Rip Bob Saget. Straight up. Rip Bob Saget. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right, my boy. I'm gonna have to send you on your way. Good luck out there. This. All right. Thanks for all the likes, guys. I appreciate that. He said no. Sony has a really gap. So I do not consider Sony's gaps targetable gaps, but we can look into it. I do play guitar. Yeah, I play a variety of different instruments really badly. So I'm great at jamming, but can't play a song to save my life. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so I do think that the EV sector is worth watching. One reason why is based on Lucid's movement. So Lucid curled up, and I know that we talked about it, but Lucid actually has a little bit of a gap left. So this is actually one. Yeah, it's only Sony only gaps. But this EV talk, of course, is going to lead us into our first gap possibility. But one of the reasons why I was a little bit, I don't even know, I was a little dumbfounded, the reversal. So that reversal that occurred kind of blew me away. It hit my price target. We got out. That was a great trade to the downside. Anybody who's in our Discord, of course, traded that with us. And it was a lot of fun. I know some people were able to get out by the skin of their teeth because, of course, it did end up reversing hardcore. But that's one of the reasons why I'm curious to see if we will see a continuation. What the hell? Jesus Christ. I clicked on. Wow. Never do that again. That was TikTok. That scared the shit out of me. Yes, you can join the Discord. The Discord is open. Bro, I'm so sorry, guys. That was a TikTok. I clicked on TikTok because I have to see the TikTok comments here. That scared the shit out of me. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm sweating now. Whew. I have to take off my fucking jacket. Like instantly hot after that. Yes. All right, we'll get that. That's actually part of the new regiment. That was all planned. That's to get the juices flowing. I found that after years of extensive studying, that getting scared half to death before you chart is the best way to find a good trading plan. I'm just kidding. I just made all that up. All right. Emotional damage. So anyway, that was TikTok's my homepage, my For You page. So that was a good time. I can't stop laughing. Oh boy, me neither. How do I beat the market? By not being dumb or greedy and just being patient. I thought you were getting attacked by someone with a chainsaw. Yeah, me too. Sorry everybody. All right. I keep forgetting that I'm on YouTube as well. There's so many pictures of me all over. It's kind of disturbing. Anyway, every time I tune in, you always say some nonsense. Great. Anyway, so one of the first stocks that I have on my radar, Sibo, get out of here, is Lucid. Lucid did have a gnarly wick right here, but it's building right underneath this main resistance. I like the hourly close here on that hourly time frame. EMA crossover heading to the upside. Pickup in volume, you did see a decrease, but that's expected with consolidation. What's up? I just scared like 700 people half to death all at once. I clicked on the TikTok page and it went to the For You page and it was just some guy like moaning. It was really, really weird. I don't even know how to describe the sounds that we just heard. Yeah, we're all traumatized. You're on camera, by the way. I do not have AO's cup. It's probably in the car. Or you left it. I apologize. All right. So a lot of distractions tonight. Anyway, so Lucid gap, that gap begins. I'm going to pretty much exclude this wick, and I'll probably be looking for the first entry around 42.85 and 43. And then the gap fills at 44.65. So I think it's a pretty good solid trade here. The contracts are relatively cheap. So we should be able to get 2 or 3 contracts even with this smaller account. So anyway, and greasy, look at me go. Let's see here. What charting indicators do I use? I'll answer that in just a second. Do you guys see the bear mask up in the corner? Disney has a thick gap. All right, we'll take a look at that as well. So, I'm a little can't join live, but someone tell Garrett. Actually, I meant to say no, not Neo. Roblox, Roblox and Lucid. So that's the second one that we're going to talk about here. So I know we should probably leave Roblox alone. And I know that some people did swing Roblox to the downside, but Roblox does have the remainder of a gap to fill here. Go. Yes, I do. Thank you. Yep. Falls on uranium stock, I'd prefer just a dollar cost average uranium stocks. And I do stay away from biopharmaceutical stocks as well. That tends to be a good practice of mine. So, um, Microsoft, I work at Lincoln. I've been selling like crazy. That's cool. So anyway, Roblox to the downside, we're going to be looking to fill the remainder of the gap, the target there. I'm going to use the pivot point, but this one's going to be $81 to the downside, to the upside. Roblox down, Lucid, yes, yes. Tell him yes, yes to all of that. Okay, so again, I'm taking your recommendations as far as gaps that you guys see, and of course, somebody already pointed out that Disney had a gap. This one actually showing a bit of hesitancy at the 160.82 and 161 level, with the 200-day moving average lurking right around 165, and that's almost dead center in the middle of the gap. Do you invest in silver? I do buy silver bars, yes. Physical silver, yes, not SLV. SLV is just pretty much a institutional, like they just trade shares back and forth and call this. I mean, if you ever look at that chart, it's absolutely crazy. Um, could I repeat the Roblox play again? Yeah, we're gonna go more in depth on each one of these. So anyway, so Disney, this one does have a gap, and the cool thing is about, I wouldn't even call it 50%, but it looks like about 10% of this gap here is about 166.87. You've got a confluence with the pivot point and the 200-day EMA. And I wouldn't say that it's super far-fetched to draw a line over here where you can see that there's obviously going to be some resistance here. That being said, there's also another confluence when you drop this line here. You'll notice that if you go back just a little bit, just like that, this is a major support for Disney. So if it's a major support, it's going to be a major resistance. And that seemingly is one of the main resistances above us. So I would give us a target of 165, 166.26, and then a level of around 168.27 to meet the downtrend 200-day EMA and, of course, the start of the gap. Now, this could lead us to a cup and handle-ish type setup. But I will say that Disney at the moment, we got to look at things from both sides of the coin. So we're not just going to take this play. We have to look at it as if, what if it goes short? And one of the things that I saw here, I actually remember seeing this on Friday, is the possibility for what kind of looks like a bear flag. So it's not quite set up. It's not like perfect or anything like that, but you do have that kind of interesting channel moving to the upside. So we'll see if this channel continues. If it bounces back down around 154, we'll look for that high volume bounce where you could expect another bounce up. And then we could see a run up to the gap. So I wouldn't expect a straight line. So there's either one or two ways you can play this. You can you can add down here if you see a decent sized bounce and you stay above those bullish moving averages, then we have decent volume. And you could go long, probably with the right maybe 170, go out a couple months, and then play underneath as you kind of scale into the trade if you're doing a bull spread or anything like that. But Disney is erratic with its trading, oftentimes choosing to follow the Dow, choosing to follow SPY, or one or the other. So you kind of have to get a feel for where it's at and have a good structure set up around Disney, or otherwise you can get smoked really quickly. And of course, we need to make sure that we're looking at SPY. I thought someone was breaking into my house, but it was just my fiance sneezing. Betty White faked her death so she could not be suspect for killing Bob Saget. Oh my God, I can't believe I just read that out loud. What do I think for SPY puts tomorrow morning? I wouldn't chase red candles. So what's the catalyst for the downtrend? That's what has to be figured. Every week and every day, it's so I think one of the questions I saw in and free chat, and I believe I forget what it might have came from one of you guys here. When you're trying to figure out the market sentiment, you kind of have to ask the questions of why is the market going up and why is it going down, right? And usually when you find those catalysts, you can see, all right, what is afflicting the market? Is it economic data? How bad is this data? How are investors taking it? What do we have happening in the future? You have to think forward, because that's how the market does. It is forward thinking. So if it's anticipating, weakness, you'll see that. And when, like, obviously knowing that's why we go over the economic calendar. That's why we go over stock. Remember the week? I don't know if you guys remember a couple week. Uh, Sorry. But that's why a couple weeks ago, I'm not sure if you guys remember, I think it was like this one. Yeah, Fuel Cell was reporting. But I talked about how there was a lack of economic data coming in, and there also was a lack of earnings, which meant that they were likely going to stay in range. And we did till I think about Thursday and Friday. But that's something to consider when you're trying to get an idea. What something has to make the market move up or down. We have to identify what those things are. How strong is that going to be interpreted by other people? Obviously, we know what things like raising rates that can cause pullbacks. The Fed talks, anytime J-Powell scratches or coughs. So those things are all bully, we beat Tesla. But those are all things to consider when trying to digest the market. And you can look into sectors and see which sectors are strongest, and you can look into sector rotations. And there's graphs for that too, where people track the movement of sectors, whether they're recovering, whether they're in a downtrend, or whether they're in an uptrend. So Microsoft will retest 300. I wouldn't be surprised. So we're just going to straight up chart here. Once you guys in the Discord want to bring up any other gaps, type them in the live trading chat. I'm going to take the gap trades first. If you guys have requests or questions in, there's 225 of you guys. If you guys want to go to the YouTube channel, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that way you guys can actually see my screen, not just a little bit of my screen. Um, you're fun to listen to. Thanks, David. Your comments are fun to read. I put all gaps I saw in Discord DM. Okay, thanks, Jimmy Dean. Oh, you did. That's right. Thanks, Jim. Jimbo. I shouldn't call you that. I'm sorry. I used to work with this guy named Jim, and I don't know why I got fixated on calling him Jimbo. And one day he had to very loudly tell me how he felt about that. I was not happy. Okay, so you said you got, thank you. This is great. I will definitely consider all of these. So we've got Fubo upside 3050. You've got to be seeing that on the hourly, correct? Okay, that's really farty. That's really farty. That's really far away. But what you can do with gaps like that is you go find those key levels, just start setting alerts, passively setting alerts. I like to set alerts on moving average. One way to do that is go to the 200 and go to 200 crossing value, or value crossing the 200, either way. And you can make sure that once the price action actually crosses that 200-day moving average, that the alert goes off. So that's an interesting alert. I would start eyeballing an upwards, there's a major support at $15.14. But that is a gap to consider a while, or in the future. One thing that I want to talk about is Sony. A lot of you guys are pointing out that Sony has gaps. That's all Sony ever does. And Sony is one of those things, when it gets news, it does this. It gaps up, it dumps. If you ever see Sony gap up like this, it's going to dump. If it gaps up like that, it's going to dump. I'm just telling you what I've seen for ages. Oftentimes, you'll get like even just these radical pullbacks, and that'll tell you how weak the trend is. Sony is a stock that you have to trade for a while in order to get the feel of it. And if you stop trading it, it'll stop working. Ooh, my daughter's mad. It not stop working, but it will be harder to read. But for you guys looking at Sony, there is a channel And Sony is best to swing trade, in my opinion, rather than target gaps, because during the day, very rarely, not to say that it doesn't, but very rarely does it actually, uh, fill the gap during the day. So, Greenkeeper working at golf was also named Jim. Yeah, Jimbo is a good name. Charting tools, I use TradingView for my charts. Again, those of you guys here on TikTok, if you guys want to hop on the YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where I am live streaming all of this. That way I can't catch all of the questions coming from here. My fiance's got my daughter. I said goodnight and tucked her in and stuff like that. She's just protesting as 2-year-old daughters will do. So, you love this more than TikTok stream. I'm looking at both of you guys. Dave Inc. Um, Simple Stacks. Yeah, the YouTube link is in my bio. So I would appreciate it if you guys would do that, but I can see your screen. So oh, nice. Yo, we taking Disca to the mood. Okay. Disca? I haven't traded Disca in a while. I'm only trading gaps. So those of you guys who are just tuning in, this week there's a Webull account. Hopefully I can pull this up without showing you guys my personal information. That'd be great. But I'll show you guys the Webull account right now. We have $127, or excuse me, $327. Um, and that is what we're going to be using to trade strictly gaps. So we will not touch this unless we have a gap to trade. And preferably on a stock. What we're going to be looking for is obviously movement on stock. So actually, that brings me to Apple. So I don't know if you guys know, but Apple has gaps to the downside. But the thing about these gaps, guys, a lot of these gaps are a little bit, if they're too far away, they're going to be Sedated Night. Damn it, dude. By the way, Sedated Night. Sorry about I know you've been requesting the Fortnite thing. I'll get to that later. Anyway, but there are gaps on Apple. So if you go on the hourly time frame, you'll see that Apple yeah. You'll see that Apple has a gap starting at 167.50, closing down around 165.75. Then it has a gap starting at 164.21, closing at 161. And it did close rather bearishly. So we'll be watching Apple above 174. 45 for upside position. And then to the downside, we're going to be watching this. I think there's a key level here at 170.85. Once we lose that level, we'll be trying to take it down. It's going to be tough because we're so close to support, but a break of 170 is going to, yeah, those gaps are juicy on Apple. So, yo, David Cameron, thank you for the gifts, dude, on YouTube. I really appreciate that. That was really nice. It's gonna go. Can you explain? Yeah, yeah. We'll go over all of these questions. So, I just wanted to identify a few gaps. I think that's about it. For me and the gaps. Thank you guys for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I do appreciate it. By the way, if you guys want a month free in the Discord, even if you're already in there, I'll send you some T-shirts and all sorts of cool shit. We're also giving away a stream deck. We don't like doing giveaways to try and get people. We're not doing it like if you join the Discord, but we're just asking for you to go into the Discord and go follow Manny's new Instagram. Bonus points if you follow Potter Stocks, but go follow Manny's Twitter. I sound like way over, but Twitter and Instagram, and that's in the announcement page. So anyway, so yeah, we have t-shirts. We have t-shirts. Okay, so if you guys would like, in the Discord, I am going to start a new channel for requests. So if you guys have any charting requests, we're gonna go ahead and go over those. And boom. And I'm sure you guys can't type in there because of the permissions. And there we go. Okay. So if you guys want to type your request here, one at a time, my friends, if you don't mind. And of course, I'll kind of oscillate between YouTube and TikTok. So, or excuse me, YouTube and Discord. So if you guys want to have one of your requests taken, um, go to the YouTube channel, and I will take your request there. If you're a moderator, if you do not mind, maybe on the TikTok, will you send people to the YouTube so that way they can get the request taken as well? All right, so we need to add Apple. So just to recap, Apple, Disney, Lucid, and I think Roblox. I think that's a pretty good watch list. We'll look into other gaps if needed. So all right. All right. So the first one is snow to the downside. Johnny Lee wants to melt some snow this week. All right, let's see what we got. So you're already in a pretty strong downtrend, breaking what looks to be this dynamic support. I think you might actually be you might see the inverse. So I would be watching snow above 310. So if you recover a $10 move on snow, I would fully anticipate a move to 322. Um, yeah, those of you guys in the Discord, just one if you guys don't mind. And then of course, if I can get on early tomorrow, we'll go over your guys' request in the morning as well. Um, so anyway, dynamic trend lines, regardless of those, we broke without really retesting those. And one thing that I like to point out to people is oftentimes when you are your moving averages are lagging, that is oftentimes when you're going to see a jolt, and that's what usually catches people is they're not paying attention. Even if they don't use moving averages, it's still worth paying attention to. And you'll notice that the 9-day moving average on the daily, the 20-day moving average are all still well up in the supply. So it would be my best guess. Now, this is a doji, and then of course Friday low volume, you can expect the same thing. If you stay below 310, then perhaps you can consolidate, excuse me, you can consolidate here. And that's what I would, in a bear case, I would want consolidation here. But you're getting close to being oversold, and you're getting close to bouncing at what is a key support. And if you'll see right there, this was a key support previously when retesting. So I would watch for a move above 310 for a potential retest of around 322. So, and what I'm going to try to do is remember to, in another notebook here. Oh shit. I'm gonna start. So slow. I'm gonna write these down. Above 310 for 322 retest. And then bear case, right? Bear case consolidation underneath the 200 and 310. Hopefully not even reclaiming 300. And then if you can hold down below that or even just show weakness in this area, you could expect further downside. So Roblox have upside? Not quite yes, but yes it does. I think Roblox will be a great long. What website this is trading view? All right, so for those of you guys on YouTube, I'm going to scroll up here and take these requests. David, I'm blasted. Happy Friday. That's awesome. Georgia, that is a funny way to learn. That's funny. Bars on the right side of the graph. Bars on the right side of the graph, that is volume profile for those of you guys on YouTube. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I see a lot of Airbnb. So we'll jump over to Airbnb really quick for those of you guys requesting. So this one I can tell you already without even looking, we have two large gaps. Those are pretty far away, but ooh wee, I tell you what, if you can, ooh boy, if you get past this. So it looks like I have fibs set on it. Whoa, my daughter is in full protest mode right now. She's on X Games mode. With not going to bed. So Airbnb, mhm, Interesting. So I really think that Airbnb is going to find its way back up to around 178, maybe a more modest 175. 175 would be a good price target too, as well. At least on a retest. So the way that I see it right here, and let me go look at the daily. So obviously you get a really nice doji, which is what I was just talking about on snow, right? So you got that doji off the main support. Looks like you filled a small gap here as well, bounced right off the gap, retesting the 9. The point of control is at 170, right? We're gonna just round that up. It's at 170, between 169 and 170. And then above that, you've got that top resistance. Just ignore all the bunch of lines there. But back down to the hourly, multiple time frames here. So this is actually a good example of supply and demand. So those of you guys have been asking me about supply and demand, right here is a zone right above you. Okay. So red rover, and look at that. Look at the volume profile. Look at that. Backing me up before I can even drop the line. How cool is that? So anyway, we get nice consolidation here. That ends up being a zone right there. Supply, we're going to go ahead and have to break in. So it's just like that, right? If we get back, this would be where I'd be looking to go long, right? So this shows the recovery. This was a zone that was lost. So now if the ceiling becomes the floor, or excuse me, the floor becomes the ceiling, and we're retesting the ceiling, we want to break back up and we want to get into this zone. So the top of this zone, and you'll see that there, because is a strong amount of look at the volume right here, right? So if we cross it, that volume hopefully would be used, or would we would see that movement to the upside, volume kind of pick up, buyers step up, and then you would be looking at 170, 150, 171. Don't expect an immediate red line. You can see there's a lot of volatility to be had in this level, but higher time frame, you could pull off a really ugly, but I would say still stable inverse head and shoulders, which is one of my favorite setups, which would lead you ultimately into the gaps. And that gap would be around 170, 190.73, closing at 195.50, reopening a new gap, 179.68, and closing around 202.50. So major moves to the upside. But considering obviously time, those would not be filled until, maybe summertime. I would anticipate, maybe not summertime, but maybe like April. I don't know. I say that and it'd probably take off next week or some shit. Um, but anyway, I didn't even see that Airbnb was next anyway. Um, let's see, another level. Okay, yeah. So that's that target that I just gave you. So look at the bounces here. You see the consolidation. Bam, 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 bam. You see that's where you break out, flush through, bounce, then break. So that would be the target ultimately. You'd want to break past this zone, get above that 171 to 172, and stretch out to 175. And I would hope at that point you would either see some positive flow, or just volume in general, hopefully in that sector, to send you up and over. So what I would be doing here is I would be setting a few different alerts. You can back up whatever you're looking for pivot point wise. And it looks like there's actually a pivot point right above us on the hourly 168.18. And considering that if you flush or push through the pivot point becomes like a trampoline, I would be looking for that pivot point to send us up and around 171.50. So I do think that Airbnb presents a pretty decent trading opportunity. I would expect a little bit of consolidation, maybe at the bottom here, maybe even flattening out before finally popping up to the upside. Let those moving averages catch up. Um, yeah, fibs are possible test points, of course. Ellie, what's up? Which EMAs am I using? I'm using the 20, 50, and 200. The blues 20, 50s red, burgundy, or whatever the hell color that is. I think that's like magenta, purple, or something. And then orange is the 200-day EMA. So, and obviously the orange a little bit thicker. So, yeah, it looks like a symmetrical triangle. Agreed. Sorry. Who doesn't like it? Oh my God. Yeah, definitely. Uh, I do like premium because it's just pretty basically you can do whatever you want. I pay for the yearly, so I get a really good deal on the yearly. All right, so the next one that I see, I was just looking to see if what indicator do I use for the MAs? It's just moving average. So if you just type in moving average, you can that one right there, moving average, and then I use the 9 most of the time, and then if I'm scalping on the lower time frame, then I might turn up on the 6. So but anyway, so my target anticipating upside would be 169, 170 to the upside, and then on a break, I would say 175 to the upside. So but yeah. Um if you guys have any requests here on TikTok, hop on the YouTube. The link is in my bio on the top of your screen. And I will take your guys' requests if I can see that, or if you guys drop those in the chat. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you can see my chart a little bit better too. So make sure to set alerts, guys. If you're charting and you're not setting alerts, there's no point. You gotta do that. All right, JPM. Ooh, interesting chart here. Not so fast. Okay, so you're sitting in and around a gap 167.83 underneath that R1 or R2, excuse me. We'll take those pivots off. So as you guys know, I am always weary of, and I'm not quite sure. So we have earnings coming up for the banks. And I don't know if anybody's here is a banker or anything like that, but I have a weird feeling. I mean, I know we got inflation, data is supposed to, only get worse, but I personally see these gaps getting filled before we take off, or if we even take off. So I honestly didn't see Friday as a really strong close, considering how much volume and really the complete gap, almost not entire gap fill, but the almost entire engulfment. So you have two really, really weak candles here. So it's still rather bearish in my opinion. So it's a gap fill and then really actually a decent. I mean, if you go to the hourly here, I mean, that's a pretty hardy rejection if you ask me. And then these are relatively weak candles. This is strength, that's strength. These, so as you can see, pullbacks happen off of weak hourly candles like this. So what do you expect on this? So I would anticipate either some type of triangle forming, but this looks like, and I think that you're going to pull back personally, and I think that's the same thing for Bank of America. I think Bank of America might give you one more leg up or gap up. So that's one thing to consider. Is that if banks gap up, then that would be a catalyst for downside, and I would suspect I mean, just throwing it out there, Bank of America does have the setup, the wide mouth that I talk about for a rising wedge. So we'll see if it even plays out. But anyway, Microsoft is next. I need a better thumbnail for YouTube. Tell me about it, David. I'm not that guy. So I go first. Top app hands down. Coin market cap. I have no idea which talking about. It's talking about. Um, did I? No, you did not. If you will stock market crash anytime soon due to social and economical problems? If I knew that, I'd be a millionaire. Bob Saget died, quit being disrespectful and by him. So, yeah, I feel like that comment was never mind. Yeah, right. All right. So if you guys are on the TikTok and you guys want one of your requests taken, just leave that request in the YouTube channel comment section, and I'm live right now on YouTube. So um, do what? Let's run Tesla. What the fuck? All right, so Microsoft, as you guys saw, we nailed it. We talked about this. It actually moved. If you guys can go look at my Potter Stocks channel, you'll see the last analysis that I did was um, for Microsoft right there. Those of you guys on YouTube or TikTok, was a little bit more drastic, but I had a less drastic decline on Microsoft. But that gap did get filled. And of course, you did see a little bit of a bounce and a recovery off that 310 psychological number back into that gap area where I do expect further consolidation. And based on the dojis that are formed here, I mean, just a general rule, not a rule of thumb, but a general practice is a lot of the times using the top and the bottom of the wicks for entries and exits. And on these wicks right here, I would say 316.57, and especially past this wick of 318, you actually have a gap now to the upside. So Microsoft now, instead of downside gaps, now presents a gap to the upside. So going long into the gap might not be a terrible idea. And I'm going to write Microsoft down on our watch list for gaps. And I'm going to post the charts tonight. So before I go to bed, um, I'm going to post all of these in the gap trading channel in the Discord. I'm going to post all of the analysis with it. So if you're in the premium side of the Discord, you'll be able to see the charts and go and draw on them and throw them in the trash, whatever you want to do. Well, 1 second. Is there strong momentum towards bank earnings? So I think we've run up into bank earnings, which always makes me kind of suspicious, personally. Um, yeah, Lucid is the other one. Uh, DraftKings. So bossy, Daniel. Okay. All right. I'll take that as passion and I'll do that one next. Okay, so 316.25. I'm gonna set some alerts there because this one actually does look like a pretty decent trade. We're gonna utilize the pivot points here as well to see if there's a confluence between bounces. Looks like 325, of course, 324.50 and 325. Those are gonna be major levels to watch. Okay, so 318.50, as said, I talked about before. Get above 318.50 and we can talk shop about getting back up into this gap. But make sure you set alerts on the gap so that way you don't lose out on being able to trade it. So even if it's just a gap beforehand, that's a good general rule of thumb. So all right. So the rotation out of tech may have started. That doesn't mean that you won't see if it's so it depends on the trajectory. A downtrend occurs or even a correction. Correction has sharp drops. That's why some stocks I have speculated to actually be in the middle of corrections, but there's such a long span between the next rejection that people start to get wrapped up in like obviously what's a longer bounce, or sometimes even a dead cat, but an extended dead cat. But anyway, so we'll do DraftKings after Tesla. So Tesla is next, and we're gonna go to the daily time frame because this one actually had me a bit puzzled. You guys probably heard me and Manny talk about the potential reversal off the doji, and looking at an entry of around like 1090 to 1090. That never obviously happened. It is a really good supply to supply, demand to demand stock. I have to agree with him on that one. But it just did not hold. It did bounce off of this key support, but the bounce wasn't sustained either. And the or it doesn't look sustainable as well. You are operating on high volume though, kind of more consistent volume than we've seen in a while. And honestly, the bounce that I was looking for was crushed on Friday. So you actually lost the entire bounce. You bounced from the 1022.50 all the way up to 1061 before flushing right back down. So it really makes me feel as if Tesla either A is gonna and Tesla has, and I mean that's, I'll write it down, but what the fuck? I'll write it down, but Tesla has a gap to the downside. And that's what's kind of making me lean a little bit more bearishly. I'm not sure what type of news comes out. It always perfectly lines up. But I would be watching levels like 1010 or 1010 and the break of 1100. So I would make sure you're setting alerts kind of cascading on the way down. Right here is a key support, 994.55. Please don't take those psychological breaks. Don't take the $1,000 break. You're going to get slapped. I would recommend waiting for a bounce off of these levels and waiting for weakness. That being said, a good drop and break below 10,988.75, you can and I would more than likely suspect 941, and you go and fill that gap. Otherwise, the point of control is at 1065, 1066. So I do think that you're likely going to see if you are going to see upside, it's likely going to happen there. But again, this movement from Thursday to Friday really speaks volumes about the current trajectory of Tesla. So, and I mean, Tesla is one of those stocks that this looks like major profit taking, which of course is confirmed by Elon selling as much as he has. But anyway, DKMG is next. You can play gaps as swing trades. Yeah, you can. So we're gonna either day trade gaps or we're gonna swing trade long into gaps. So HD seems to be a request. I'm taking these requests. There's a lot, guys, so I apologize. Also, not this week, but the week after, I will have a live schedule for what is likely going to be for the rest of the month going into February that you guys can keep. So if you guys are wondering when I will be live and where, because I will be live strictly in the Discord sometimes, and then obviously live on YouTube, TikTok, and other places. So, you want a short hood? I feel like everything's dead. So you asked, should you get out of your Microsoft put? I think what's going to happen here is a retest. If you're not down, it might be best to just wait for some type of reposition because I do expect consolidation here at this level. So any books, all the books that I recommend are in my Discord and they're free. When is Tesla? Okay, so that's something that I also want to consider. So looking at the economic, okay, so tensions aside, everything kind of like set to the side. The economic data for this week isn't crazy. We don't have anything like overtly, extraordinarily high impact, but there isn't much, upside. So the only thing, right, we have to latch onto something. I mean, we're not that far away. What we got? 2 weeks before banks start start reporting. Three weeks until we start picking up, and then basically 4 weeks. If I'm not, wait, did I count that right? Let's see, is it the 10th? Yeah, okay. So we've got this. Oh no, never mind. I apologize. So 1, 2, and then 3. So we have 3 weeks until the complete earnings week with a high amount of companies that we're familiar with, big betas, et cetera, all reporting. So that is a catalyst. That is something that we can anticipate. And of course, when we read the morning news, we'll see how other markets responded. And oftentimes they'll behave in similar fashions, anticipating a good earnings season, and you'll see that in the stock. So a lot of stocks are dumping into earnings seasons where they could see relief bounces at earnings, and then of course we'll pick a trajectory past then. So but the next one, so I would set set levels we set levels so that we can find stop losses, et cetera, et cetera. Why is there still, oh, but I would set levels, you know, somewhere obviously 318 is a key level for Microsoft. There's another key level, I think, around 320, of course, psychological number. So you could pick levels to play to the upside with a hedge and then also lay levels to cut. Um, Bank of America puts. So we actually cut Bank of America puts for a loss. And then we ended up taking Bank of America calls to the upside for actually what ended up being a really strong trade. And I recovered all of my Bank of America losses off that trade. So yeah, I did get out of that trade, yes. So all right. Yeah, I know you always ask about Neo, but that's okay. CB&A, huge gap right before we're at. US, what did I say? 9:15. Oh, should you get out? Yes, sorry. I was like, what the hell am I talking? I forgot you asked that question. Okay, so um let's see the next request. EMAs 20, 50, and 200. Fun fact, North Korea claims ownership over inventing burritos. That's unusual. I don't think their people are eating it though. All right. So the next one that I see, so we already did Lucid, but we're going to do it again just so that you guys know. Lucid is a part of the trading plan going into this next week, waiting for a key level break around 4250 to take the gap. There's a gap, the remainder of a gap, excuse me, all the way to fill at 4460. So we're probably going to take, and I'm looking at the option chain right now. Um, let's see here. So it looks like Lucid, January, we want to go longer because we have a small account, but we also don't want to, we want to be able to have some time behind our contracts. The gap fills at 44. So we either go in the money, and we'll probably have to go with a $45 strike for, oh shit. Yeah, January 21st. So Lucid, January 21st, calls are probably going to end up being a move with the small account that we're trying to flip. So, um, yeah, XBB will probably go up as well. Amazon calls. I do think Bank of America will pull back. Yes, Disca is better for options. Are you saying that or asking me? Again, we're on YouTube right now. Those are you guys watching here on TikTok. So nice. You got a $42 strike. That's great. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to identify the gaps and we're going to be trading these gaps with the smaller account. So we're going to make sure that we have a list of things that we're going to make sure that we have. We're going to have a entry, an exit, and a stop loss. And we're going to know how many contracts and what contracts. And of course, I'll show you guys the positions as we're in them so that way you guys can see them. But of course, you know, we'll be trading these live. So hopefully they'll end up being hour-long or 15-minute day trades where we can sit back with time behind us on our side. You know, they may be borderline scalps, but as long as we're taking profit into strength, we should be good to go. So what strike? We're probably gonna go with a 45, but I would make sure that if you're watching me, enter when I enter. Okay, if you move on your own, make sure you have a stop loss. Make sure if you decide to get in before I do, that's awesome. But you need to make sure you have a setup and you need to make sure you have a plan. If you don't have a plan, I am on YouTube tomorrow. So if you guys want to be on, I'll probably be on YouTube first. So or Discord first and then YouTube. So um, Bitcoin looked like I had a head and shoulders, but that might fail. Yeah, it's just sitting there. Anyway, okay, so Affirm is next on the list. Affirm has not filled its gap, but Affirm also took off without testing supports that it broke. Going to the hourly time frame, you're not really seeing too much off the bounce. You've lost both bounces that you've made. You do have a dynamic trend line here, so it looks like you're going to be making a descending, either a descending triangle. I think this hasn't found support yet, but I would anticipate excuse me, Jesus. I would anticipate a test of $78 and maybe even 77, 75. There is no support here yet, but I'm anticipating you're going to find one. So be careful taking a short until you see that rise in volume. TTM is firing off right now. Low volume consolidation. So you're going to want to watch a firm above 83.77. Watch a firm go to the upside, possibly retesting the 90s. I would say that 90 retest will happen above the obviously 87.75, and then you have a level around 92.24. Step back out, 4 hour, you can kind of see a little bit clearer. In need of consolidation, but again, above that 9-day moving average, more than likely seeing retest of supports. Otherwise, we have the remainder of the gap to fill past $74, but anywhere past 75 or 76, I think below 76, likely gap fill. The rest of the gap fill was confirmed with a tap down around $70, filling at 68. So am I going to call that lucid on YouTube tomorrow? I will. So the week after this week, I'll be going live on TikTok and YouTube for pre-market prep and probably after hours stuff, but I will not be trading live. Not this week, but next week. Will be I'll be going just Discord only. And then we'll be back to normal the next week after that. So occasionally I have to do these things because it's just too much all at once, and it makes it hard for me to focus and make sure that I'm meeting with the people who are in the Discord. So, um, but anyway, I believe that there's both selling a lot happening at this level as far as buyers and sellers are concerned. So 87, 83.70 and 84 seem like a decent place to watch. And then of course the downside, you'll see what that looks like. Everything seems a little bit oversold, getting close to, and you're at the full rollover of that TTM to the downside. So I think you should see a bounce here soon. But this one actually runs with Roblox. I don't know if you've seen, they both have the inverted cup and handle, and both pretty much fell uh, pretty hard. Not the same exact setup, but same bouncing happening here. So, all right. I think the next one I saw was Trip. It's getting 9:25, guys. 9:45. I'm sorry if I wasn't able to get to your guys' request. Those of you guys in the Discord tomorrow morning, I'm gonna be try to be on around 7:30. I'm gonna try. I have a lot to do, but I'm just obviously there's actually not much I can do right now except for wait, and pack and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to be on a little bit earlier in order to meet with you guys and chart a little bit, and then we'll be going live on YouTube and TikTok around 8:30. Um, but let's see here. Trip. Whoops. All right, so Trip. What a ass stock right now. Summertime's coming up. I mean, you just had the holiday season. You're halfway to earnings. So earnings right around the corner, February 16th. You've definitely fallen from grace from when we played Trip, because I know that you guys played Trip with us up and down. This one has the makings or the looks. I mean, if you guys don't know, but Trip actually has a gap to the downside as well. 23.50 closing at $20. But this one looks more bearish than it looks bullish. And the reason why is the weakness in the candles. So there's not much conviction here. And this is speculative purely, but there is. So when you see these candles, guys, that's a whole day of trading. So for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, nobody bought shit on Trip. And then maybe a little bit of movement with the sector, and then easily. So anytime you do see volume, it's usually at resistance with what looks to be people taking profit. So with that being said, that's when more bullish or bearish situations end up playing out. So I think above $30 is probably where you can anticipate levels like 30.55 and 31 or 32 getting retested. But it seems like it might be more likely to see um, trip below $26.25 go for the gap fill, which would make for an interesting trade as well. So, all right. So the next one, I'm trying to make it through here so everybody has something. AVGO. Uh, oh my God, yo, that has a gap though. That does have a gap. It's a nice size gap. Are you long weed stonks in the very long term? Not particularly, no. So as much as I support the cannabis industry and all things cannabis, I do not think it's realistic to see something that interferes with this what is still status quo, and still inferior without getting political, digs into another big business that's within the stock market. Um, those things, until we see banks fully start to commit and exchange funds with cannabis stocks, and they continue to stay offshore, or not offshore, but be it Canada or whatever. Those companies still are not very efficient. There are some cannabis companies that do make some really awesome acquisitions, but they still trade at a really low market cap. And I don't think that we have enough time. I think in the future, if you're dollar cost averaging certain cannabis stocks that you're researching well, I think that it's possibly a good investment. And I think it's inevitable that it ends up being a part of the norm. But in the meantime, I think that it's more risky to look for an immediate return from cannabis stocks. So have to be on the premium side to listen in Discord. Yeah, if you're in Discord, you have to be on but that's if you want to be in the Discord, that's you're getting the same thing right now. You don't have to do that right now. So. I'm curious to see what he has. All gonna do the exact same thing. We talking. Um, CGC. It's okay. What monitors? These are. I have no idea. 32-inch LG monitors. That's all ultra clear or some shit like that. Thank you. Though. I yeah, the bear. You guys see the bear up there? Bear time. Just joined the 5-day trial. Awesome. Look forward to talking to you. Okay, so AVGO, Broadcom looks like the gap. You will bounce. You can't expect. I mean, I would expect maybe a couple days of bouncing, but the 606.80 to 592.52. I've never looked at the options, but it does appear that it's going to see some more downside. So yes, I would fully agree with that. But anytime you drop this hard into a zone like that, it's inevitable that you're going to see a bounce somehow. What I would like to see for more bearish is a gap up, 625 gap up, and then short the gap, flush into 610, 607. Facebook. I'm just kind of jumping around right now, guys. Um, let's say we can only trade 3 times. Is it better to buy shares when you buy options? Um, Oh, so you have day traded. So are you guys, if you're on Robinhood, I would look to switch brokerages immediately. Hey Dad, what's up? What's up? It's funny, what's up, dude? Bear in general. Yeah, I am probably just in general. there. Alexis, the $90 call on Oracle 114. I'll take a look at it. Yeah, sorry those of you on YouTube, the camera angle's all weird. I didn't know where to put my camera. Let's see here. So after a big push, and I believe this was a gap fill. Yes, so there was a very small amount of gap. I remember watching this and I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. But it went and filled that entire gap. Insane bounce on Facebook. That being said, all it did was go and retest a downtrend right here. And I mean you have supports near where it has bounced off multiple times. So looking at Facebook right now, uh, it is almost imperative that I would like a small gap down and then a rush up, but it is almost like you have to um, make your way up here, or if you lose 328.76, and really if you lose 330, I would expect Facebook to be heading back down. And one thing after the strong push like this, and then you get a red doji, almost long-legged, but you get that rejection off the 9-day moving average, major resistance level, major demand, and then you push all the way back down, holding 331. That seems more bearish to me. So anywhere below 328, 60, and the 200-day EMA at 328, I would anticipate seeing Facebook go and fill its downside gap. So its downside gap is at 320. And if you see a correction or you see a downtrend isn't just straight red candles. A downtrend is big bounces sometimes as shorts covered. Just like people take profit to the upside. A lot of people think that the downside is just spiraling out of control, and a market crash could happen right in front of most people's eyes and they wouldn't even see it, or not a crash, but a correction. And this is kind of what you're seeing here. So if you do see a continuation of the downside, I would anticipate seeing Facebook go back down to fill its gap, which again, hourly time frame, you can go and see the gap. I would say a good entry for that gap would be 323 and 321.35 into the 318.32. So mark those out. Make sure you set those alerts on those rays and on those levels, so that way you get an alert there, and you can take those trades to the downside or the upside. So what can options with cash account? Yeah, you can. I have cash accounts and can trade options. Nice. Just be patient with you, but take your time. Too early, young people. Okay, what's up? Too early. I don't know why people say stuff like that. What's that even mean? That's so condescending. Market got a rebound or still drop? It's gonna do both. Oh, young people. What do you think of Microsoft? I don't know. I think it's gonna bounce a little bit before continuing. Is it? Oh, too early for the rebound. Like I said, young people. Oh, I thought he was talking about me. I felt condescending. Um, what am I looking at to determine support levels? Previous support levels, psychological numbers, stuff like that. Do you notice any weekly trends? What do you mean by that? Do I do estate planning? No, why? I've done estate sales and stuff like that before. Looks like PayPal. I'm gonna set some a few more alerts here on Facebook. So all right, let's do PayPal. And please, guys, sorry, Discord, if I'm not reading the chat right now, I apologize. But how do you get the bar graphs on the right side of the trading view is the same ones as below? No, it is the indicators. Go to built-ins, go to volume profile, and go to visible range or fixed range if that's what you want. Also, if you guys find candlestick patterns that you like or that make sense to you, you can find them here. Abandoned babies, are you bearish? Abandoned babies for bullish. That's probably the most hilarious. Weirdest name. Shooting stars, splitting up, whatever. Tweezer bottoms are great. I They don't have them on here, but dark cloud covers. Oh, they do. Yeah. So actually, dark cloud covers are pretty sick. One of my favorite candlestick patterns of all time is a dark cloud cover. Like it's like that one. And that's not even a dark cloud cover. Close enough. Whatever. But anyway, so you can take advantage of that if you wish. PayPal. Let's take a step out. Reddit taps Morgan Stanley Goldman Sachs for IPO. No shit. That'd be sick. Um, um, Gaps to the downside on Tesla. Roblox has a unfinished. Lucid is also a gap. Sorry, we got the new Instagram post. Okay. How long am I? Oh God. Abandoned babies. Yes. Hey, good evening. What's up, Matt? Sirta. All right. It is almost time. What's up? You don't wait, you don't play, you trade options? I do both. It's best to play 2 weeks of the month. Solomon's got a point there. I'm telling you guys what, the less is more in the market. If you have a killer day, I don't know if you guys have ever done this. This is going to be a stupid ass metaphor, and thank you for bringing this up. But here it goes. I don't know if you guys ever play video games and you keep doing something and like it's really hard, and then you step away and like you literally think about it, and then you just go back and sit at the game. It feels like, oh, everything makes sense. Oftentimes, both bad and good, it is worth. It's the impatience to want to be able to make that, because the market is always open every day. Everybody shows up every day, but it's the people who choose the days specifically and when they want, like when is the high, and it takes measuring and recording, right? When are your highest volatility days? When are your best plays? Is it during earnings season? Like that takes obviously a couple of years of data, but it's worth paying attention to. And it's some of my best trades have been off of hiatuses where I didn't trade for 3 or 4 days. So the bank robber, no, the bank robber is always a good one. I mean, if you're looking to trading, when you think about it, it's the same metaphor. If you're robbing a bank, which is how I observe the market, I think of it like the less time that I'm in the bank, the better. If I'm writing it or writing it, if I'm robbing it, that's a weird bank. But yeah, I mean, if I wouldn't do that every week, unless I was a maniac or really really good at robbing banks, which I can't say, off the top of my head what. my experience level's relatively low. So, dude, I don't even know how to chart this, my guy. This is a, whew, I mean, it used to be a little bit more liquid. Now it's just seems like it's just free floating, in the middle of nowhere, kind of lost, lonely, um, no volume. Probably going to be a spectac. I would try and find out why they dropped, but I would expect dip buyers to come in, and watch psychological levels like $2, 225, those levels. But I really can't offer too much on this chart without totally fibbing. It looks like S5, so I do use pivot points, but S5 is at 233. So I don't really have any news on Sirta, but personally speaking, I don't play stuff like this. If it drops, it's probably for a reason. So I'm not discouraging you, but um, big profit. All right, Neo, did I? I think I did. And again, if you guys want to watch this, there was a recording of this on YouTube, so you can go back, you can rewind it, you can draw stuff on my face, you can print it out, burn it, whatever you want to do. You can go and make a DVD, whatever. But it's up there for you guys if you need it. Neo 15-minute pennant looks like you got right there, nice and compressed. Watch for a fake out. So I would say $30, and of course 30.50. So interesting setup there. I think I went over this. Oh my God, what the hell is going on here? Okay, that won't do. All right, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was some type of deviation channel here. There was. So we did actually find an established standard deviation channel. So with Neo being at the standard deviation channel, I'm fully short on Neo. And I might, God damn, I want to short Neo. Okay, so I don't know if it's, I really think a $20 put on Neo for May or something of that nature. If you look at how Neo looks, this thing looks terrible. It looks terrible. It's in a downtrend that nobody seems to like. It just is in a major downtrend. It's in a huge downtrend. That being said, it's so anytime we're retesting, so ceiling becomes the floor, whatever you want to say, right there. So look at this support level. So this one we regain, pull back on, flush through, etc., etc., retest. We have harshly, not just rejected, but harshly rejected that mark. You've even seen sellers stepping up midway here, just pushing it back down. I really and would fully anticipate a break below $30 and $27.50 would likely lead Neo down to a gap fill of $22.17. Mark my words. Maybe not mark them, but scribble them down in pencil so you can erase them later. I believe ARK is about to U-turn. Big Tech will start. Saucy Fredo. I don't disagree with you. I do. Yeah, guys, I have 3 chats to read, so I apologize if I am not. I do have ADHD, but right now it's we're working overdrive here. Does anybody want to do me a favor and send Optasy a screenshot of Lucid's gap that we just went over? I would really appreciate it. Tell me if you do it. But personally speaking, Neo Clapper, I would watch Neo below $28. It's already below 30, excuse me. So below $28. I'm gonna write down Neo short 22, and I'm gonna remind myself about that gap. So he needs to consolidate. I know, I do need to consolidate. I put that effort in once I get into this new spot, and I'm gonna change the computer setup a little bit. So I did go over Apple, so you guys can check that out. So please don't say you have ADHD and don't have it. I actually really, really do, Emily. I was our Dr. Emily. I was one of the first case studies in the state of Alabama for a new pill for. I was like, they're like, yeah, let's get this kid this pill. We'll see if this shit works. But yeah, I my teachers requested, which is illegal. They requested for me to be on Adderall when I was a child. I was like 7 years old, trying to play volleyball in band class. All right, so oh yeah, I remember when it did it. Yep, I remember when you did that. All right, so I think besides that one, Facebook, Hood, BBY, and we'll look at Upstart. Oh, God, dog, dude. That one looks like it's gonna eat, dude. Definitely in a spot where I want to buy it, right? Because of where it's at. But I mean, look at the breakout. I mean, look at this thing break out and then just completely shit the bed. So that being said, you're at support, as you can see, one, two, three. So just another support level that you're holding. There you go. That's actually the support. There is a gap to the downside. So you could set alerts here, which of course we're not close enough to really nab that gap. But there is the possibility for a double bottom if you flush below $100. You want to hold 100. I think that's the goal now. You want to hold 100 and get above 106. There are gaps to the upside, way up there, 120, 175, and 136. Hopefully the holiday season helped, but you're getting close to around midway to earnings. So I would start watching for that continuation to the upside. So make sure you set alerts on that one, but it does look good for potential rebound play if it can hold support. Otherwise, watch those gaps to the downside, gap starting at $95.65 and closing at $91. How many screens do I use? I have four. I mean, I guess technically five, six with my phone, seven with my other phone, but they all serve different purposes. A lot of chats, a lot of places. So I'm streaming. I made some money on Neo calls and blindly bought Hood and SoFi calls. My biggest regret. Yeah, no blind. Can't blind trading. Gotta have a plan. Like we're gonna be trading only gaps this week. I'm gonna hire somebody to throw something at me if I trade, take something that's not a gap. In my big account, I'll trade something else, but we're gonna take this small account here on Webull of $327 and just strictly trade gaps. So Amazon seems to be a highly requested chart. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why does this thing look like it wants to just die? Ugh. All right, so you guys can probably see it. I see it. It stopped at S1, which this data is old, so it's using that data to give you that support. But really, supply to supply, demand to demand type situation here. Below 32.35, 32.35, 32.36. Watch for a pullback down to support, 31.81. That has been tracked here. We've got one, two, three bounces off that support. We are coming off of what looks like a perfect double top on Amazon. I mean, we've got earnings season that's in on February 3rd. And the point of control again for this area is at 31.75 and 31.80. So I suspect that we get one more drop down and then potentially break up and consolidate a little bit for Amazon to go into earnings. But that's just my thoughts on it now. Otherwise, if this level gets broken and we do continue downside, watch for I would say 31.25 and 3100. 3100. So the top. So look at this consolidation zone here. This zone, the top of that zone, right where that resistance is, that's a level, and that's where we're going to look for that bounce. And you can see the volume here below you is definitely set for and prone for a bounce. And that's why when we're using the volume profile, we could say, all right, this bar is, just to keep it elementary, this bar is big, so we're going to expect a big bounce, right? And that's what we can expect and what we have seen. So Please look at QQQ. I do not have the 21 EMA, but I have the 20 EMA. What time frame are you looking at? I use TradeStation, but I have a Weevil right now, so. Do all gaps need to be filled? For the most part, like 91%, 92% of gaps are going to get filled. So if you look at that probability, um, that's pretty high. What is my nationality? White. I am Caucasian. How do you join the Discord? Hop in the Discord. The link is in my bio. And then if you're looking for the premium version, that is, if you're brand new and learning, don't pay for anything. Just continue to do what you do and utilize all the free education that's in there. And of course, these lives. Am I bearish or bullish? In life, all the time, bearish. Stock market shouldn't exist. I'm just kidding. EMA values, I don't recommend, but I would say that I use the 2050 200. So um, bro drag volume profile. What about it? Do I'm just nationality. Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm American. Whatever. Okay. So did I think I haven't got it yet. What I want to look at is the weekly. Ugh. All right, so we better hope and pray that this is a sweet flag and not ooh, maybe? Nah. I don't know. Maybe. Uh, mm, that seems like a stretch, but we'll leave it there. So this is either a sick flag or we are about to eat shit with a quickness. You guys can see momentum dissipating. Whole ribbon indicator, guys, for the first time since COVID, we're starting to actually cross below it and it's actually starting to change and flip colors. You guys can see if you take the stock away, bye bye stock. Look at that. Starting to thin out. Look at the indicator. Actually turning, actually flattening. Now, this has happened before, right? But we've stayed in this uptrend. We've seen the bend there, we've seen the flat there, but this is a real harsh turn. And with that indicator showing that lack of momentum, something has got to happen here really quickly. For the cues, or otherwise we're going to see what was more than likely a correction. And I wouldn't put a number on it, but I would say that would begin a steady downtrend. But again, earnings are coming up, and I do think that that will have an impact. So my target is 375 for the cues. Give it 375. I hope for a gap down. Otherwise, I would anticipate if we end up running into earnings, if we end up running into earnings, I would anticipate that drop down there, maybe even a little bit of consolidation, and then hopefully for just in a bull case, we can see some run up to the resistance here for the third tap of resistance. I usually go with that number, and it hasn't failed me since I started trading. Three taps of resistance or three taps of support and a break. So this is the third tap of support. And again, it is the third tap of support linearly as well. As I drop this line down there at 380, this ray, you see 380 is a big support. So it's still hovering around that, and we'd like to close reverse and climb above it. So um, you cannot chart on Robinhood, no. Um, Um, Hold on one second. I had to submit. Do you get a chance to look at CMRE yet? No, I did not. I'll look at it next. Oh my God, why does that look like that? Ugh. Yo, damn. And I did my holiday shopping at Nike too. What's up? Didn't even work. So that's not good. Look at that beautiful candle arrangement though. Look at that. Oh, look at that reversible candle. Oh, short Nike. Weekly candles matter. Um, they do. They actually hold big impact. Look at that. So you're going to need to see a sharp recovery, or otherwise you can, and more than likely should, below this wick right here, 155, start eyeballing these gaps. So there's Nike has a gap, actually more than one. You've got one at 150, so that's a psychological number. You can expect to be able to short that gap off of bounce. That gap closes 142.79. You also have the larger and more dominant gap of 144.50, the 50% mark on that gap, 140.31, I think. And then the gap fills in its entirety at the point of control, 135. So interesting setup here, double top-ish type energy, but more or less major reversal on that weekly. So expect more downside on Nike, it looks like, if you close below that 200. So I'm going to set an alert on that 200-day EMA to the downside. And I think it's worth writing down that Nike has gaps. Although the spreads can be pretty shit, Nike can be interesting to play on a swing trade. So we'll write that down. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to get to everybody, guys. If I don't get to you tonight, if you're in the Discord, I'll make sure I get to you tomorrow. Um, CM. I'm just trying to oscillate between both. Costa Marie. That's a pretty name. Um, it's a sombrero pattern. See, sombrero. Um, well, obvious breaking down trend. Um, man, there's not a ton of liquidity here. So as you can see by where the price is currently at, look at that. Look at the look. It's literally on the wick. So you've broken past the level in what hopefully is a retest. But unfortunately, you finished with this hammer candle. So below 1250 and below 1240, point of controls got you at 1225. So there's a lot below you. It looks like everything's turning up. So I would watch for continuation upside above 13, and then downside, anywhere around that 1244, I guess 1235 mark. So yes, I expect correction in big companies with all these liquidity issues. We see small cap rotation after May. Definitely, I'm hoping to see a small cap rotation around that time frame because the liquidity's been asked. All right, guys. It is 10 o'clock, and I got to start looking at going to bed here, getting ready. I got to post charts for you guys. I got a couple more things to do before bed. I got a schedule to write down, budgeting to work on. So I've got a couple more things I got to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. But if you guys are on TikTok, be sure to join us on YouTube tomorrow morning. Make sure to follow me on Twitter if you guys want to know when I'm going to go live, or on Discord. Make sure you guys have those notifications set on the announcements. And if you guys have any questions, make sure to shoot me a DM. So Intel is about as ugly. This company is just whack when it comes to trading up or down. But this one looks like it did end up breaking, yeah, way long ago. So it has a cup-ish type energy. This kind of blows that cup out of proportion, in my opinion, but still maintains that rounded bottom. So that's more of a correction. And it's holding that 200-day EMA, which I think is imperative. You have to hold that 200 EMA. So $43 is going to be a hold level that you need to hold. And then below that, you've got one more beautiful level right there at 52.41. So hopefully if you can hold those two levels on Intel and reverse off of those, you could see continuation in the upside. But the selling off of 56, this wick is hard to overcome. So to get past a big wick like that, big hammer, you're going to need to see a push in that sector and in volume. I'm not calling this one yet, but I did anticipate. I saw this one the other day, but I did think to myself that maybe we could see some type of crazy rising wedge, that maybe we pull back to 52.40 like I talked about, and then you see another rip into the $47 range because Intel does have a gap to the upside. So what did I say about CMVA? I don't think I went over that one, but this one needs to bounce more than it's going to continue to dump. So you've got a bounce level here at 181. You've already broken 185. 181 here, and the gap fills all the way. So there's actually a gap on CBNA at 1 to 175. So watch for those psychological number breaks, 180 down to 185, so or 175. How do I use my volume profile? I use them basically as if you just consider them levels of high impact. So if you hit a level with a lot of volume, you can look at it as a strength meter. So the point of control being obviously where you see CVNA consolidate the almost the 50% mark. It's almost like a magnet. You get pulled back into that, and so you can consider it basically like the strength of the level you're hitting below you or above you. So volume dissipates after 174 on Carvana. So if you were to move below 162, 163, you would likely flush into the 140s. So this one actually has a pretty fun setup because it does have gaps to the downside. So it might be fun to trade. I would want to gap up on Monday or something. All right, everybody. Make sure to check out our Instagram. Make sure to check out Manny's Instagram if you guys want to win that stream deck and win a month in our Discord for free with some t-shirts and stuff like that. So make sure to go follow Manny's. This will be picked randomly. We'll do it live on Friday of this week. So be there, or they'll be there. But anyway, you guys have a good evening. Hopefully I was able to get to your ticker. If I was not, I apologize, but I will try to be on with you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early, so we can go over some of these setups. So you guys have a good night. Get some good rest. Don't roll out of bed 10 minutes before the bell, and expect to win. Remember what our plan is this week. So if you guys are looking for Amazon trades from your boy, that's not going to happen. We are strictly focused on the small account. We're strictly focused, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, if I haven't said it, I'm going to say it now. This doesn't mean there's no guarantee success. It is tough to build a small account from $300 to whatever. So it's going to take that. That's why I'm going with the gap trading strategy. So I'm not just looking for trades. I'm looking for higher probability trades, including obviously those gaps. So we're going to be looking for those gaps. We've got a nice list here. We want gaps that are nearby or we've bounced off of. If you find a gap that has been bounced off of, please let me know. And what we're looking for is to identify the gaps. I don't care who finds them. It's just about executing them. So what volume profile? If you go back a little bit further, I showed how to bring that up. But anyway, I'll answer a few questions here on TikTok. But otherwise, YouTube, thank you guys so much. TikTok or Discord, thank you guys. I appreciate you. You guys have a wonderful evening. Peace.